Hello. So today I watched Joker. There's not going to be any spoilers in this, but I'm going to tell you what I thought of it. Gemma was also there, who is filming, but is not feeling very well, so won't be discussing the movie above and beyond a couple of comments,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I thought it was really good, so I'll just get that out of the way right away. It's a good movie. It's probably my favourite film I've seen at the cinema this year. Now, granted, the only other film I've seen this year that I really loved was Godzilla 2, but even so, I've seen Godzilla 2. I've seen the new Spider-Man movie. I saw that stupid Annabelle movie, and I've seen Midsummer and Joker. So I've seen 5 movies at the cinema this year, and this has been my favorite. Joaquin Phoenix is extraordinary in the film. It's some of the best acting I've ever seen, and it reminded me why I love to act, and also why I love to write and be involved in films. And it reminded me why I love going to the cinema. I didn't know the film had a period setting. I went in pretty blind, but it's a great looking picture as well. It's really well directed. Some people have said the script is shallow. I don't think it is. I actually rather liked it. Can be a bit on the nose occasionally, but it's a comic book movie. I mean, I think you expect that. It's very artistic as well. It's artistically made.
Yeah.
People have complained a lot about the violence, and I was surprised about that because it's not that violent. It's only a 15. Now, if you're in America, of course, R is kind of the standard thing, but in England we have 12A, 15, and 18. Now, 18, I went and saw Midsummer. Now, Midsummer was much more violent than this. That was an 18, and people walked out. There were 6 people. It was 3 walkouts because it was 3 couples that all got out and
Yeah.
walked out during Midsummer. No one walked out during the Joker.
No.
I say the Joker. It's not called the Joker. It's called Joker. But obviously the temptation is to say the because that's because his name. The performance is brilliant. It begins sort of he's just a very very troubled person, and it's not just one of those things where they have a little bit of the Joker here and there, and then bam, he's the Joker. So often you see that in these kind of origin portrayals, especially with villains. But in this film, it is an incredibly slow transition from. I mean, he begins as somebody who's got a lot of mental health problems, but it's a very slow transition. He doesn't really become the Joker from the comics until sort of the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie. And I liked that about it. I thought the cast were all very good. I mean, Robert De Niro, for the first time in a long time, didn't phone his performance in. He actually really tried and gave it 100%, and it was really good.
It was a nice little homage to his sort of juxtaposition of from the King of Comedy.
Yeah, because of course Joaquin Phoenix is now kind of playing the part that Robert De Niro played in King of Comedy, so that was cool. And there were a lot of references to classic films, but there were also cool references to the comics. Without spoiling any, but there were some things from some of the more famous graphic novels, for example, like little points. And go, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
But they didn't ram it down your throat. And people say it doesn't really feel like it belongs in the Batman universe. And those people, I think, what the hell movie were you watching? Like, there's tons of references and little canonical things that happen in this movie without spoiling anything that feed into the way we think of Batman and the Joker today. So yeah, I thought it was great. It's a difficult film to talk about without preparing anything for it. I probably should have written something down, but I don't want to repeat myself too much. Like I say, it is violent, but it's not. Like I say, it's not Midsummer, which is another film I saw this year. That was insanely violent. There's a couple of moments of quite visceral violence, but they're nothing you wouldn't see in another 15 rated movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, more like there's not really any sex in the film.
It's implied.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of swearing, I would say. Which I guess some people don't like profanity, so I'd mention that. It never feels like it's trying to be edgy or cool though with it. It just feels like because of the type of film it is, it just fits into that. But what I want people to take from this little capsule review is Joaquin Phoenix is a fucking revelation in this film. It's one of the best performances I've seen in years. Now, probably the 2 best acting performances I've seen in recent years have been from Joaquin Phoenix this year and last year. My favorite film from last year was Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. And my favourite film this year so far is another film starring Joaquin Phoenix, which is Joker. I think he's slowly becoming my favourite actor. I think there were times I felt like crying. There were times where I was laughing with him. It's not a very funny film. There's not much levity. It's very dark. If you're expecting, because it's about the Joker, to be very funny, I think you'll be disappointed. There's very little comedy in the film. But when it's funny, it's funny. There's a moment of violence, but it's timed like a joke. It's very well done, and myself and several other people in the theater, including Gemma, burst out laughing at the kind of the shocking nature of it. You know, there's things like that that worry people, or certain types of critics, but it's the same people that said video games cause violence. You know, the same morons that just want headlines. You know, I don't think they really care about violence. To be honest, I don't think they do. What else? There was another point I was going to make, and I've quite forgotten what it was, and that's really embarrassing. No, I'm really just excited for people to see it. I think it's been out about a week now, or a bit just less than that, and yeah, I thought it was really great. It's making a lot of money, and it deserves to make a lot of money, and it deserves to win awards. I know it's won a few awards at festivals, and it deserves to win some more mainstream awards as well. As I've mentioned a million times in this little video, the acting performances were fantastic. The writing was pretty damn good too. I didn't have problems with it. I know some people did. I personally didn't. It was a well shot movie. A lot of the it was very artistic. You know, it's the kind of film that I often think of sort of Hellboy 2 as like that's the most artsy a comic book movie can be. And then I'll watch something like this and go, oh, actually, perhaps Joker is more really a better example of how artsy a comic book movie can be. Yeah, it gets my thorough recommendation. It is very sad. It's very downbeat. He does say society once in the movie. That's a minor spoiler there. He does say society.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say the N word, so that's a plus. And he doesn't say gamers either. So, Gemma, do you have anything to add? I know you're not feeling 100%, but do you have anything to add?
I loved it, and I had a really fantastic time in the cinema watching that film. It was, you know, I've got a lot of similar points to you, and I just Joaquin Phoenix, yeah, I think he is my favorite. He is my favorite actor at the moment. Like
he is, of like the current wave of Hollywood movie stars.
Mm-hmm. And I really hope people don't get put off by this movie because of the subject matter or because it's about the Joker. But I genuinely think if you want a nice character study, especially if anyone has any I also think as well, like if you do suffer from any mental health issue, like problems, like, you know, there's a majority of people do, like, you know, it's nice to see a little sort of like, you know, like it's nice to see a little bit of like of that on screen portrayed in a more realistic way.
Yeah, it's very honest, and you know, the performance. Again, he does little things that are so consistent with mental illness and with paranoid schizophrenia, for example. It's like with the laughter and there's like the guttural sounds and everything. That if you ever heard a schizophrenic rant and things, it's very they make those kind of sounds. It's very well researched performance.
Yeah, so I would definitely say I really enjoyed Joaquin Phoenix performance with Robert De Niro, Frances Conroy as well. She's a really underrated actress. Yeah. I think she's pretty much fantastic in everything she's in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really all I have to say.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it already, Joker absolutely gets my 2 thumbs up or whatever. It gets my full recommendation. It's not outrageously violent, but it is violent. I mean, there's a bit of bloodshed and things. There's some bad language, and it's dark more than anything. Contextually, it's a very dark and downbeat film, but it's very good. It's entertaining. It's well made, and I thoroughly recommend it. If you're particularly weak-stomached, perhaps give it a miss. But like I say, it's not any. I've seen way more violent films than this year.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, next to something like Midsummer, this felt just like any other comic book movie, violence-wise.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Thanks for watching. Bye.